Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Japanese tier 10 heavy tank, the Type 5 Heavy, the Big Daddy Derp Master. And yeah, it's the Big Daddy Derp. I like the Type 5 Heavy, it's fun to play, it's a fun take your brain out kind of tank. It's kind of stupid in the way it is because the gun is just ridiculous, to be honest. You just splash people for like 500, 600 all the time. I think, to be honest, it kills the other gun because the 14cm that you can have, because this is the 15cm gun, which is the big derp gun. You actually have a 14cm option, which has 600 alpha with pretty good pen. It's a pretty decent gun, to be fair to it. But my thing is, why take that gun and then risk bouncing when you could just use this gun, fire HE, and hit people for like 500-600 pretty consistently on splashes. And sometimes you can get ridiculous splashes as well, where you shoot someone who's next to them and you do a little bit of extra damage, that sort of thing. But you never really have to aim that much. You just... Really, the only thing you have to aim with this tank is just sort of aiming for weaker plates. So shooting engine decks as opposed to just shooting upper plates and all that sort of stuff. But for the most part, you know you're going to do damage. Like just going, oh, a 705... Well, is it just a 705? Just snap, bang, 502. That's a decently armoured tier 9 heavy. And it's side-scraping. Well, it's tracked side-scraping. It's like, oh, look, 515, just like that. Keeping him tracked as well, and we're doing some significant damage. So if people try to actually do stuff like side-scraping that, you can just destroy them really easily with this gun. So for me, it's just like... 426 again. You just never take the 14cm, to be honest. You just run around with this 15cm and have an absolute laugh. And it is a pretty fun gun to use, to be honest. Like I say, it adds to the question of the Type 5 Heavy with the derp gun. Is it a fun thing to play against? Probably not, because you try and play your tank properly and you get, you know, slapped up for it. And the guy doesn't even have to really aim. But to actually play for the tank, it's pretty fun. And naturally, the Type 5 Heavy does suffer the problem that a lot of the Japanese heavies suffer from, and that is if people have like 310 plus pen, they just go, ha, lol, I like that flat armor you've got, and auto-pen you all the time. And if they pen you in the cheeks, there's damage your ammo rack as well, which can be a bit frustrating, but most part, if you're going against tanks that you know have less than 300 pen, you can just laugh at them and just say, haha, there's nothing you can do. I mean, look at that, that's a Type 4 Heavy. It's like me, but a bit worse, well, much worse, and has a lot of side armor, a lot of armor in general, and we splashed it for 311. That's always the thing with the Type 5 Heavy in its big derp gun, and with a lot of derp guns in general. If you're going to shoot someone, try and shoot underneath them, like shooting the track underneath the tank, because you'll take the tracks off and you'll splash the underplate armor that is exceptionally weak, and you'll do a lot of splash damage to it. So in terms of a crew on the Type 5 Heavy, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Trap Mechanic, and Rapid Aim. Rapid Aim because the turret traverse is very, very slow on this Super Heavy, and I want to make the turret traverse just that little bit better. All the gun perks, because it is a derp gun, so naturally it derps a lot, so you want to make the gun as good as possible. And, yeah, all the other stuff is like normal, really. In terms of equipment, I run rammer, vert stabs, and optics. Optics to be able to spot for myself. Vert stabs to make the gun 20% better, because that's just what you want to do, really. And rammer to make the reload better, because, again, it is a derp gun, so it doesn't have the quickest reload in the universe, so naturally just help it out, and it'll be a good time. And yeah, this first replay is on Fisherman's Bay. So far we've done 3.1k damage and 1665 assistance. We've won the battle in the town and we're now progressing out of it. I know there's an E75 somewhere along here and I'm like, okay, I want to push out to a position where I can try and spot the guy on the mid-ridge, just derp him, which we spotted a Cranvarn. Naturally, if he's loaded APCR, which you've just seen he has, this man is not penning us, ever. So we just sit there and go, well, just let me derp you and then reload, my friend. The 268 version 5, on the other hand, will. So what we're doing, aiming straight through his side, 566. Now, with the 268 version 5, if you actually hit the right spot between the tracks and the spaced armor, you can actually pen that thing in the side. And I've done it once or twice in this tank, and it's kind of funny when you hit it for like 1300. But want to be today, we did 500 damage. Now there's 5 tanks left on the main team, 2 artillery and 3 actual tanks, and as you can see, this was just, well, both these replays were before the artillery changes, so that batch at 15555 only had 400 hit points. We'd finish him off. Now this E75 is very, very, very alone at the back over here. And it's like, well, let me just start slamming shots at you. Then we get hit, not by the E75, but by a tank destroyer that was also sat right next to him. And it's like, oh, okay, well, let me just keep advancing. This E75 is looking at me going, how can I pen this guy? Yeah, no chance, mate, unless you fire APCR. And we just slap him down. And yeah, it's an SDRV 1030. No wonder I couldn't see him until he fired. That thing's really stealthy. And he gets shut down. But we finish the game with the victory. 3 kills, 5.8k damage, nearly 3.6k assist. Ace tank of the high caliber. 1736 base XP. A really nice game for the Type 5 Heavy. A pretty damn easy game for the Type 5 Heavy, to be honest. I mean, that was like a stroll. And that's the way the Type 5 Heavy can be, to be honest. Some games, it's a chore because of the armor problems. In the fact that the armor is really strong until people have like 330, 340 heat. And then as soon as you come against people who just, you know, fire premium, they absolutely butcher it. But then you get games like that where people don't fire premium, people struggle, and yeah, it just becomes a stroll in the park because they struggle to pen you. You just keep going, well, I don't need to pen any of you. I can just keep splashing you and doing loads of damage, and it's a good time. Now, this second game is on Pearl River, and I'm deciding, you know what, I'm going to go to the middle, try and win the middle battle. And as you can see, this is when, actually, this is from the first day that they added the multi-weapon system to the tank. And they made that front machine gun port an actual gun. I think it's 75mm or something like that. So I was just testing it out, and when they did actually come out on the first day, it actually had a bug where, as you were seeing, it didn't really rendered the weapon. It actually was shooting from inside the tank and stuff like that. And actually the armor bar was only 10mm and they put nothing behind it, and it was really bad, really randomly, which I think they're fixed by now. But yeah, so when you're actually looking at the weapon system, yeah, as you saw with the start, it did have that bug, but thankfully that's been fixed. To be honest though, I'm not a big fan of what they changed with the weapon system not long after this, where you can still see the reticle of the second gun, and you can see the reticle of the second gun at the same time as seeing the main gun. It's really annoying for me, and I kind of wish I didn't, but it is what it is. And as you can see, this is why this tank can be so fun to play like that. T95E6 was like, oh god, that's a Type 5 Heavy, bounced off us and we just slapped him for 613, no aim. It's just like, hello friend, slap. And we have really overmatched the enemy team in this middle area. Look how many of us there is. There's a couple of V4s, there's a Type 5 and me. Just, yeah, we dominated the middle. And it is encounter, so we do have the encounter cap to worry about as well. And this is the thing I like about the middle of Pearl River. I can get over here and I can start spotting people along the 1 line. And I can shoot people that are actually attacking the 1-2 as well. But I do like attacking that JK line because you can do quite a lot of spotting from there and get good flanking positions and stuff. But you just have to be careful that if the enemy team do win the... Oh, that was a chance to pen the Cranbon. Anyway, yeah, if the enemy do win the middle area, it can be pretty deadly for you. So it's just something to watch out for, because you're going to see the amount of shots we have at people. And this SDRV 1030 there, 103B, sorry, I knew he was there. He's got a good chance of penning us if he's firing premium, but I was kind of hoping that he might give us a side or something so we could actually pen it and get a big derp round into him, because it is one of those things, like any derp gun, it's really satisfying when the shots pen and you do like 1300, you go, whew, that poor guy. So we're up to 2.5k assistance because we managed to get a shot into that Cranbon. Like I said earlier with the Cranbon, if it's firing APCR, that guy has 0 chance of penning us unless he gets our flat side. And so I'm not really too worried. We are currently capping at the minute with 1 TD in there. And I'm like, okay, the enemy team, there's not many of them spotted. Not many have been spotted. There's a couple that have been down at B8, B9, you know, down in that heavy tank alley area. And I'm like, right, okay, you know, I'm not going to worry about that. What I want to do is get towards the encounter cap, because I'm slow, right, naturally. I'm a big, fat Japanese heavy. And if they decide to try and cap, it's going to take a while to get over there. So I just want to get towards the cap and try and destroy and fight and hit the tank destroyers and the enemy tanks that are over here. It's my whole reason for coming over this way. And I'm a Type 5 Heavy, I'm full health, and I'm fearless at this point. So we're going to progress up this road, and I can see shells flying out from that hill above me. I'm just being careful and watching to see if we can get a shot at this 268 version 5 at any point. And there we go. We end up spotting a tank destroyer. It's nice U-152, which we can pen if we get lucky. And I'm like, okay, so I wasn't expecting to find 2 or 3 tank destroyers on the left. I've been seeing shots flying on the right. So I just got to be careful, because obviously the tank destroyers, there's a lot of them that can do some big damage to us. The compenners as well, they've all got quite high pen guns. I just have to be very careful, because it's one of those things that can end very, very quickly. But they didn't seem to notice me that much, because none of them really truly reacted to my spotting. I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to get up behind these TDs. If there's something behind me, it'll get spotted, and maybe I can shoot it, but I can actually get safe over here. And then we spot the back end of the ISU-152. We snap the shot in, and we switch to the multi-weapon system to see if we can get a couple of cheeky shots in. Now I can tuck myself into this rock on the left and the right, so I can actually stay safe from anything that might sneak up behind me. I didn't really want to waste a shot here at this T-30, so what I actually do is use the multi-weapon system. Now, naturally, you'd probably aim. Right, you'd probably aim properly, but there was this weird bug that you're seeing there that just made it basically unusable for me. So I was like, right, I've just got to auto-aim and hope for the best that these shots hit, because I can't use that multi-weapon system at this point here. And then E4 just ignored us, gave us his ass. We slapped that shot in for 1,000. Thank you, sir, so much for ignoring me. It's probably because he was getting hit for like 50 or 60 consistently, and he's like, it's only a small caliber gun, it'll be fine. No, sir. No, it won't. Thankfully, we get a shot into the Krangvarling as well, who's stayed down below. Now we've got a Super Conqueror coming in behind us. It's like, well, hello, Mr. Super Conqueror. We will become friends in a second. Then there's an ISU. It's like, oh, God. Thankfully, the ISU bounces off our ass. We'll take those ass bouncers every day. And then we took ourselves into the rock to keep us away from the Super Conqueror. He only does track damage, and it's like, well, okay, just let me go. Oh, 4990 to your turret front. Yay. We switched to the multi-weapon system because it's like, well, we'll just keep firing just to see if it keeps him away, and maybe we might catch a shot into his lower plate, but it's not happening. I know I can just kill him now. No matter where I hit him with this tank, I'm going to kill this guy. So I'm pretty confident in that. So we stroll up, go, goodbye, sir, kablamo, and there goes the Super Conqueror. So there's only 2 tanks left. There's a heavy tank that's been spotted down at B6, and the artillery, which is currently shooting at us. We know exactly where he is. He's going to be in the RT hole at A1, or in that area. And I was looking at going, he's either in the RT hole at A1 or is it D1. I'm kind of hoping he's at D1 because that means I'll get there and be able to get a shot into him. But the likelihood of that at the minute with the TD coming in is, yeah, not very likely. But we can hope beyond all hope. And it's when it's in situations like this in the Type 5 Heavy or in any of the Japanese Heavies, to be fair, this is where it can be just that little bit frustrating, right? Because it is slow and it's that mop-up area of the game. And oh, hello, Gui. Oh, please, let me get the shot. We can just see him slap the shot for 529. It's like, if the multi-weapon system worked properly for us in this replay on this day, we probably would have been able to get the kill on the Gui as well, but it was doing those weird things, and unfortunately we couldn't quite get it. There's only 1 tank left. I think it's a 50 TP prototype, so the Tier 8 Premium Polish Heavy. And, yeah, it is. And he's managed to turn his 2v1 into a 1v1, and our heavy tank is actually running away from him. So I'm looking at this going, I thought my game was over. And in fact, he's got 705 hit points, which means, you know, that we might be able to get a bit of damage as long as the E4 doesn't get there first. And I'm kind of just willing this 50 TP prototype to attack us. And that way, I'll get a free shot of damage, and that would be great. It's like, please, 50 TP, come on. Don't run away, come on, attack this guy. And I've got this Skoda T56 covered as well because I can see the corner if he comes round. I'm just hoping that the Skoda T56 doesn't block the shot. Unfortunately, just bad timing with the positioning, and unfortunately I couldn't shoot the guy to save him, but we did manage to finish off the 50 TP prototype anyway, and we finished with the victory. 7 kills, 6.1k damage, 1,000 assisted, 2.7k block. The Ace Tanker, the Devastator, Top Gun, the High Caliber, 1819 base XP. A really great game for the Type 5 Heavy, a really nice game. Big Daddy Derp fun. It's always fun to play, just to have a take your brain out derp session, and the Type 5 Heavy is good for that. As long as you don't get full premium spammed at you, and it's like 310 plus ped, you can have a lot of fun. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.